Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri 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 Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om श्री राम जय जय राम ओम 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 Sri Rama Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama Om. 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 Sri Rama Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Sri Rama Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Sri Rama Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Sri Rama Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Sri Rama Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram. Hari Om, Hari Om. Where are we now?
Right concept of God.
Eh?
Right concept of God. And verifiable truth by referred by Swami Satchidanandji.
Yesterday we were elaborately dwelling upon what should be the background or behind chanting. Otherwise it will slip into superficial. So Papa was very clear because this is our mainstay. Our sadhana is centered only on Ramnam. So all of us need more and more clarity to make it as effective as possible, so that every one of us will feel that we are moving towards the awareness of His presence within us. At the moment we are not aware, in spite of hearing, in spite of doing Ramnam. We all feel we are all individuals. God is something separate. He is still a concept. he has not become a reality to us. This is the blunt truth. In spite of hearing, in spite of doing so much Ramnam, still we feel he is to be adored. No doubt he is to be adored. With the knowledge that it is because of him that even to adore him is possible. So that much he is close to us, which fact we are unaware of. So, but the only sadhana which God has prompted us to take up is Nam Seva Dhyan. So unless and until we get more and more clarity on this Rama chanting, that means fine-tuning our Rama chanting, we will not be able to realize his presence within. So we will just read out the chapter. The purpose of chanting the divine name is to remember God. While repeating the name, we should be aware that the name and God are one and the same. In order that repetition does not stay at the lip level, we are cautioned that when we are repeating the name, we must feel that we are repeating the name of one who is within us and who is our true life and being. Without it, the repetition becomes merely mechanical and does not help us in any way. When we tune ourselves with the name, we tune ourselves with God. We must keep this central fact in our mind when doing the japa. When we tune ourselves with the name, we tune ourselves with God. We must keep this central fact in our mind when doing the japa. Then the practice will gradually make us aware of the divine's existence within us. Tuning ourselves with him will make us aware of his presence within us. Just as when we think of milk, all the qualities of milk will automatically flash before our mind, similarly the chanting should bring to mind the attributes of the divine. Though at the time of chanting we do find great joy and upliftment, immediately after that the pull of senses and the me and mine have their sway over us. While chanting, we should also keep praying for his grace to be able to overcome these down-pulling tendencies. If such a highly evolved soul like Papa, if he had this, what do you call that? In the cave? Outpourings, you know? The outpourings which are reflected, you know? The then state of mind, even after undergoing so many years, 3 years, penance, total surrender to God, accepting everything as God's will, even then, when we go through that outpourings, how the mind brings out certain type of thinkings. So he says, that is why in the outpouring, always it is a dialogue between the Papa and Ram. During those words, we can find how he is invoking the blessings of the Ram. So he says, while chanting, we should also keep praying for his grace to be able to overcome these down-pulling tendencies. The name, when thus chanted with the right perspective, helps to purify the mind and free it from the clutches of me and mine. The efficacy of the mantra lies not merely in its incessant repetition, but also a constant attention to it. The sound of the mantra will then be found to have a most soothing effect on the mind. It will lull the feverishness of the mind. This equanimity will in its turn awaken the sleeping divine consciousness, bringing the soul in direct contact with the indwelling and all-pervading reality. This is where we stopped. So the thrust is given to attentively chanting, consciously chanting, number one, and also to simultaneously develop that we are chanting the name of one who is within us, who is making me to chant. If this constant effort is not made, chanting will be going on, mind will be going out. This we know from our experience. So the purpose of chanting is to remember him who is within us, who is everywhere outside also. And he is the one who he stands for our life and truth. So because of him only, we are in a position to chant. True life and being. No? So he has used so many words. It is something like to awaken the sleeping divine consciousness in us. It is still there, it has not been awakened. So superficial chanting will not awaken. And each one's approach will be unique. Papa has given out his. So the first and foremost thing, probably we can put it like this: we should first know that he is within us. Second thing, he is within us who is making me to exist as an individual, functioning as an individual. That is why Papa used the word life. Life and our true being, consciousness. So God stands for life force and consciousness, awareness, absolute. Awareness, absolute. Not aware of something, awareness itself, which makes us aware of so many things. So Papa wants us to bring this while we chant. As we said yesterday, for people like us who have been chanting, it might be little difficult in the initial stage to simultaneously do this. So we try to dwell upon this intently before chanting, in between chanting, or after chanting, number one. Number two, we choose a particular time in the morning where we are to ourselves, where there are no disturbance. And then when we chant mentally, in slow ramnams, mentally chant slow ramnam, so that adequate space is there for us to dwell on this and the chanting. Even if it is for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, it is worth it. Because the impact will remain with us. It will slowly percolate. So not merely chanting. The efficacy of the mantra lies not merely in its incessant repetition, but also a constant attention to it. So we have to take the name of the Lord with all strength and faith and repeat it breathlessly, as it were, at all times, whether we are at our bath, in the kitchen, on the road, or in the office. These words give us one more clarity, that it doesn't require any prerequisite, any time at anywhere. Repeat it breathlessly, as it were, at all times, whether we are at our bath, in the kitchen, on the road, or in the office. We must keep dinning this fact into our ears, mind, and take refuge in the name. Then each repetition will have a new meaning. Each repetition will carry us nearer and nearer to God. At the same time, we should know that parrot-like repetition only signifies our failure to recognize Him. It's a beautiful word. Because it becomes parrot-like because we have not recognized Him. Moreover, it is to be remembered that if the name is chanted with the right perspective, doubts would not trouble us much, because the answer also will simultaneously well up. So if doubts arise, we should know that the name has not been chanted properly. So we look at ourselves. When doubts will definitely arise. How is this chanting going to help me in my dealings? All those questions will come naturally. So later on, as we keep on asking ourselves, then we will also try to get answers from within. Because we are not the originator of our life. If we are the originator, we are the final decision-making body. So when we are trying to understand first intellectually and then slowly trying to realize that this life has been given to us by Him, intellectually, we know when we were in the form of a seed in our mother's womb, the present me and mind had no role at all in it. We were not consulted, as Swami Nisargadatta Maharaj says. Because I was not there, So here, Bijam Mam Sarva Bhutanam, when he says, he is the originator, When he has originated, how can I become the decision-making body? He is the decision-making body. So gradually, when we try to realize or recognize this truth, the doubts will slowly fade away. Each one can adopt. Proportionate to our intensity, we will get the answers. That means intense reflection is necessary. Contemplation is necessary. This particular para we added in this because of what Papa told Puja Swamiji when who came here as Anandashram for the first time and got initiated from Papa, and at that time Swamiji was wanted to ask so many questions, but Papa was keeping quiet. So when he asked, can I stay here? He said, not now, Ramdas will call you later. So when I go back, if I get doubt, will you answer? Then he said, Ramdas will not answer. Then Swamiji said, I was taken aback because so lovingly he was treating. Suddenly he took this stand. So how am I to get clarity on the doubts to be cleared? Then Papa patted on his back and said, if you get doubt, you should take it that you have not chanted the name properly. So when Swamiji shared this with us, we were trying to find out how do we get answers. Same thing applies to all of us. Swamiji was only an instrumental cause for making us to think on those lines. So doubts will come in the minds of aspirants definitely when he is on the path. When his faith in Nama becomes more and more strong, Nama itself will bring out the answer in a mysterious way. But our earnestness should be there. So Puja Swamiji was later telling us, not that he was not getting doubts, but every time he cannot ask anybody, he has to dive deep within and get the answers from within. So that was the instrumental cause for him to go deeper and deeper into this. Nothing at the superficial level. Those who are subjected to get such thing, there may be some people to whom such things God would not have made them to pass through. To them that simple faith is more than enough. But those to whom they have to pass through subjected to pass through certain trying moments and where these inner conflicts well up, and they are trying to get answers ready-made from outside, and when it is not coming, what they should do. So to them Papa has answered through Swamiji. That was how he did not ask so many questions, because in one word Papa has sealed that. He was also telling us many of the doubts, even if we get ultimately on that day Satsang, it will get cleared. So that is why this has been. Moreover, it is to be remembered that if the name is chanted with the right perspective, doubts would not trouble us much. Because even when the trouble comes, we know there must be an answer. I have to fine tune somewhere. I have to improve my areas of correction. I must introspect and find out the reason. However much others say, it will not help me much. But when I myself diagnose it and know, oh, this is the reason, then it will go. Intense reflection is necessary. So doubts would not trouble us much, because the answer also will simultaneously well up. So if doubts arise, we should know that the name has not been chanted properly. So we take it, we don't, each one can derive their own. We normally take it that if the doubts arise, it is because the doubt arises from the me and mine. And we feel that we are the originators. We are the deciding factor, entity. But the Nama reminds us that he is the originator. And whether I know it or not, whether I like it or not, I should keep on trying to hammer this truth in me that he has given me a role of this sense of individuality to work out his will through me.
Swamiji, behind our desire also, it is he. He is the originator of our desire also.
Ultimately, he is the desire. The simple truth is, the life has been given to us. You know? The present me and mine, which assumes the role of the doubting Thomas. You know? It was not there at the time of conceiving. And he must have a purpose. It is not accidental, no. God will not do anything in that way. So with a definite mission to perform, he assigns the role to every one of us, which fact we don't know. Because we feel we are the originators. Any role that he makes us to play, we will play. But behind this, we should know that he is. It's a toughest job, very easy to say. But this is the truth, we have to keep on trying. So that is how we say we should know that the name had been chanted not properly. That means the name stands for him, and Nama chanting should connect me to him. Nama is the link between us and God who is within. So if that is properly connected, then this doubt will not arise. He has given. My prarabdha is also an instrumental cause, but ultimately the life has been given by him, and he wanted me to work out. So the onus is on him, responsibility is on him. So when I seek more and more his guidance, the problems as such will not trouble me much. Not that it will go, but as such it will not trouble me. If you have realized, then there won't be anything called trouble at all. But those of us who are on the way definitely will find. Every time when we handle something, when we say something, immediately after that we introspect and see, oh, why did he make me to do? Then you get the answer also. In Vyavahara, all these things are necessary. That is why I made you to do that. Okay. And the tangible gain is no ill will towards anybody.
What, Swamiji?
No,
The tangible gain?
No ill will.
No ill will towards anybody.
Yes, very true.
Because in the Puja Swamiji in his memoir has written, just now we were going through, that in a drama there will be tragedies and comedies, you know. The director assigns each one a particular role. We congratulate the villain who has played his part well, you know. So similarly, it has been assigned to us. That much we are all clear now. The present me and mine has not originated this life. That becomes very clear now. So when he has originated my life, he has a purpose, and that purpose he is working out. I can paint or label it as good and bad, tragedy and comedy. To reach that stage is the toughest, you know, easy to say all these things.
Very tough, Swamiji.
Very tough. But we try to think about it more and more. Probably 1 inch, 1%, 2%, 3%, we may be able to raise ourselves to a higher level. And from there we look at it.
Okay.
We have seen in Vyavaharic life that even when difference of opinion crops up, it has nothing to do with the relationship. We had ourselves personally seen such experiences when we were in the professional career. That one and this one is not mixed up at all. Relationship is entirely different, and in Vyavaharik level, indifferences are there, we fight, we do everything. But at the same time, relationship is intact. Though we may not know that we are playing the role, but we have seen this. It is possible. Even without understanding all, it is possible. And they stand out in our memories. So they are all proofs. It is not a theory which is difficult. So we try to, but at that time we had not brought this God dimension. That God willed, we had not. We were looking at the individual, and the individual was performing it well, the result of which was our relationship was never strained.
Sorry, Swamiji.
Just like lawyers, just like lawyers representing one client and another client, they may be fighting at the court, but when they come out, they are all friends. Nobody mixes up their relationship. So when we go through this, all those things, we can slowly find out God is making us, it is possible, it is possible. But now the difference for us is, here we are not seeing the individual as a personification of these qualities. Here we are trying to see the originator. It is because, whether he is aware or not, the originator is there, and that originator indirectly or directly kindles in him this tendency of not mixing up the differences with the human relationship. So these are all verifiable truths. And then, whenever we feel we are not progressing, we have been asked to resort to Satsang, solitude, and chanting of His name. Whenever we feel we are not progressing, we have been asked to resort to Satsang, solitude, and chanting. Satsang makes us aware of the potency of the name. Because now it is becoming very, very clear now. It is not Nama chanting. The name stands for Him. Though He makes us to forget Him, when He involves us in various activities, every now and then, through Satsang, He is also touching and kindling this aspect in us. We call it as Nama chanting.
Swamiji, when we have unshakable faith in Him, He Himself will make us realize and remember Him always. And the faith varanum நம்ம மறக்காம இருக்கணும் க்ஷணம் கூட.
Faith varthukku He may put us in trying moments.
ரொம்ப கொடுக்கிறார் சுவாமி.
Then trying moments, then we try to plead, appeal, cry. Papa on the word illaya, he cried. Where is rest, where is peace? That was the heart's cry, Then He heard, trust me, you shall be free. He did not say, have faith in me. Trust me.
Trust me.
So these are all different stages through which we have to pass through. But He... So satsang makes us aware of the potency of the name. It helps us to become aware of the heights to which the nama will take us. So whenever the morale is sagging or our effort becomes lukewarm, because of our preoccupation with so many activities in the world, we need regular satsang. Satsang is not necessarily with an illumined person. Satsang can be had by going through the teachings of such Mahatmas. Finally, we should know that satsang is to commune with the Sat within us. Sat means he. Satsang. Company of Sat. When we become aware of the indwelling truth, which is called the Sat. So that is the real satsang. Outwardly we can say going to ashram, reading Mahatmas, biographies of Mahatmas, question interactive sessions. Like this, we go through some text, we do some manana. All these things will help us to move toward the Sat in us, So 3 things Papa advises. Whenever we feel we are not progressing, we have been asked to resort to satsang, solitude and nama chanting. So reading of his books, reading of any books which answers our questions. And solitude where we try to do more and more manana. And of course, to ensure that both these become beneficial to us, nama chanting. So again it zeroes back to chanting, So in this chapter, we have been given a lot of points that are to be kept in our mind while chanting is to take place. First of all, it is not a ritual. It is an effort to move closer to Him who is within us. Even that expression is not right. To move closer to the awareness that He is within us. He has been with us. He is now with us. This truth we are not aware. So we need some exercise, some discipline by which we try to become aware of His presence. That is the role this nama plays. People like us who are in ashram or when we go to any place where the chanting takes place at specified hours and it is in chorus, chanting is going on. There, to what extent this will be possible, each one has to find out. So that is why we feel that we will go along with it. We will not disturb. Because as an organization, when somebody comes, they should know what is going on. So when we say nama is the mainstay, the chanting, there will be a chanting program. Otherwise, how can it be? And definitely we can say those who are coming, those who have come here, when they have taken part in any one session of nama, they develop a taste for it. So we will not disturb that. But to be more blunt, for my individual sadhana, I should not be satisfied with this. Even if it is for a short time, it should be done in such a way that the real purpose of Nama chanting is made known to us. Normally, suppose we have a schedule, morning 6 to evening 6, half an hour gents, half an hour ladies. In Bhajan Hall there is 11:30 to 12:15, evening. All these sessions are there. That will also be wonderful. Papa used to say, no, allowed one say, that also gives us some thrill, no doubt. But we should not be satisfied with that, because we know from our experience, immediately after the session we are almost back to square one. There may be some slight change, not much. So here, that is why he said, if we don't find any progress, we must resort to satsang, solitude and chanting. There in the satsang or in the solitude, we try to evaluate ourselves. We try to see where we have to improve, where we are lacking. What is it that I have to do that? So in solitude, in an open mind, you are not discussing with anybody. You are discussing between you and you only. So you will be absolutely frank, free. So that is how the second chapter on purely on Nama chanting, remembering God through chanting of Divine Name. In the next chapter we will find, since none of us will be able to chant throughout our waking state, what happens during the non-chanting time will have its own influence, impact on our chanting period. The mind, wherever the mind is employed, mind has to be there. So when during our non-chanting time, when we are involved in our family, profession and social activities, whatever happens there, it will have its own impact. I go to office, for no fault of mine, the boss or the colleague shouts at me. Somebody shouts at me, the boss also repeats the same thing, I am upset. With that background, I come back and then I sit for Ram Nam. Just imagine. At home, there is something that is not going in the way in which should go. You become upset. With that background, you sit in the puja room. What happens? So then it will have its time. So apart from observing all these things during our chanting period, care also is to be taken to see that even during the non-chanting period, I should be able to remember him. We have to devise some method. In Vyavahara, so many things will come, that will disturb us, even for no fault of us. But while reacting, we will be now a little careful. Even if we have to react, we will see that there is no personal ill will or anything that disturbs us. We have to devise some method. Those who are exclusively sitting for chanting, to them, okay. That stage is not for any of us. So practical. Dedicating all activities to God. That is the only way. Because He is the originator, so we are giving back everything. Whatever He has given us, we give back to Him. We don't keep anything for ourselves. Even when in adverse circumstances come, in quest of God, we have found, immediately the face changes and it becomes positive. Because He is behind. He cannot go wrong. From my level, if I view, it will disturb me. But if I view it at a higher level, it will not disturb me. So we will just read that portion, chapter, then more of it tomorrow. Nobody will be able to exclusively spend their waking time fully on contemplative life. So we have to ensure that spirituality must enter into every activity of life. We should know that it is by the power of the Spirit that our life is activated in its manifold expressions. Papa's words, in the classroom, hospital, office, marketplace, factory and field, as well as in temple, church and mosque, we should tune ourselves with the Spirit. Divine thoughts and feelings should permeate us. This is possible through seva, the dedication of everything that we do, from the moment we wake up in the morning to the moment we retire at night, to the divine. We must have the right attitude while being involved in seva. More of it we will take it up tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Tomorrow is our Puja Swamiji's 104th Jayanti day. We are often reminded, why are we remembering those days? In ashram we don't celebrate, So the day comes and we remember, intensely remember, gratefully remember, fondly remember, reverentially remember, more intensely on that day. Not to praise Him, what He has touched and kindled us. Those of us who had the privilege of seeing Him, moving with Him, each one will definitely have a lot of positive factors. And then we try to understand why did we align ourselves with Him? Why do we say that, He is such a great noble soul? That means He has touched and kindled the nobility that is in us. So in that way we are grateful to Him. We never knew about this. But by His very life, by His very body language expression, the style of His functioning, when He is meticulous, the care and concern for anything and everything, not only human beings. When it is noticed by us, naturally, we try to emulate as much as possible. His tapasya we have not done. So naturally there will be slips. But it is touched and kindled in us. Like that we try to remember. You have touched and kindled in us what is in us. For that we are ever grateful. If you had not brought us within your ambit, I would not have known it. Now kindly enable me to get stabilized in it. My old habits, often make me to forget this. So this prayer also goes on that particular day. And the most important thing that we could understand, which can vary from person to person. He never allows his sense of individuality to take credit of anything, which is called self-effacement. Everything is attributed to the Lord. And he was as free as like an innocent child. In our language, we say, very humble, self-effacing, all. But the more you contemplate upon it, it is because he is always conscious of the truth that he is the originator, he is the originator, he is the originator. That is why he will not be upset at all on anything happening outside. He used to tell us, he was trying to find out the reason why God makes such and such a person to behave like that, that's all. The person is removed from the scene. So to us, he was unruffled, unaffected, always having that equipoise, never attached to anybody or anything, at the same time affectionate to everybody. So these things, when we keep on observing, if it has struck to us, it means he has touched and kindled in us. That is why we align ourselves with him. He is also like any other individual, no? So tomorrow being the 104th Jayanti day, we try to intensely remember. Just to quote one example, till 1989, we have all been coming from 64 onwards. We used to come here, spend more time in Mataji's room, some time with Swamiji. We never knew that Swamiji is behind all activities, Because naturally, he doesn't come out and make himself conspicuous everywhere, no. Even when we wrote the first letter, we remember, your loving letter was read out to Puja Mataji. That is how, on those days, that is how Swami replies. He will not say, we have received your letter, noted that so and so and so. Even that very act. And later when we started coming here, we knew that every day he will take the mail, literally he will read it out and seek Mataji's. Then only everything is done. Self-effacement means, we keep on thinking about it, no? Not even for a trice. He was fully established in that as years went by. Because in Vyavahara, we were fine. We used to feel, it is all right if you can talk philosophy, spirituality when you are free from activities. No, in Swamiji's case, we have seen that. He was able to carry both dexterously, wonderfully, efficiently he was carrying it out. Nobody knew. Whether it is accounts, whether it is human management. He will never ask, I have observed, he will never ask a worker to do this and in that form. He will ask them, can we do that? tomorrow can we do this? Even on occasions like, Jayanti Day, so many people will come. So, Mithre Kannan, who was in charge of Payasam, rice, these two departments. So he will call. We will be sitting there with the letters. So he will call. And he said, tomorrow how many people we can give? We'll say. Can we do Payasam? And what Payasam? He will never say, tomorrow you have to arrange for 1,000 people. You have this item, that item. Initially we thought, it was a gentle way. It is not gentle way. He recognizes everybody in their own role. God has given them that role. And he recognizes. That is the beauty of Swamiji. So nobody is unimportant, nobody is insignificant, nobody is irrelevant, So many such deep penetration into what Swamiji stands for. That will help us a lot. And tomorrow is the day for all of us to think about it. That is why we remember today, because tomorrow there won't be any satsang.
Tomorrow no satsang.
No. Google Meet will not be there, no?
Monday.
Google Meet will not be there. Sunday, no, tomorrow. So that is why we are prompted to share all these thoughts. The day should not go just like that, So 12th November means, for people like us, sadhakas, it's a day for remembering him, for making our spiritual journey more effective. With a deep sense of gratitude.
We'll read the silent sage tomorrow's morning.
He is more eloquent than a silent person. When about 400, 500 people were assembling here for taking prasad in the evening, when Sri Ram Swami had a tough time to manage all these things, and when it's out of control, he will rush to Swamiji's room and say, Swamiji, this is a problem. Swamiji will slowly get up, take the umbrella, slowly walk towards the bhajan hall, and then immediately, as if the switch is off, everybody will keep quiet. Swamiji does not have to utter a word. Not that, he recognizes everybody. That very recognition from his heart makes them to quell, to keep quiet. So silent sage means he is more eloquent than anybody else. But not through words. Previously we thought something else. Now it is becoming very clear to us that his remembrance of God is total, and he always tries to remember not as a person. They have a role to play in the scheme of things. And he names it as not only necessary, what is that word? There are different roles. There's a beautiful word he mentions in his memoir. In this Leela, everything is possible and everything is necessary. When we accept that everything is necessary, there won't be any grumbling and complaint. You see that word? Shouting, finding fault. When we know that everything is necessary, we don't grumble and complain. In this he says, in the Divine Leela, everything is permitted. In the drama, we have tragedies and comedies and we appreciate every part played. If one person plays the part of a robber and he does it well, when he comes out of the drama, we congratulate him. No? You have done your part very well. In this Leela, everything is possible and everything is necessary. So this in letter and spirit we could see in. That is why he was not upset. Anyway, each person is unique, each saint is unique, so we cannot follow that. But at least the theme we can try to assimilate, which will have its own positive effect when we deal with others. So with all that, we try to spend the time tomorrow and dwell on this inspiring life and mission he placed before us. More about it day after tomorrow. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om. Shri Ram.